Hey everybody, I am so excited to be going live for a lunch and learn, and I will be inviting a special guest on here shortly. So come on and join me for this lunch and learn to talk about teaming for success. And I will be getting my guest on here shortly. All right. Invited Chelsea on, and it's adding her. Hey, Chelsea.
Hey, success.
Yes. All right. So we'll get started here. I wanted to just welcome everybody to this lunch and learn. And I wanted to have people put a one if they're tuning in live and where they're tuning in from. And also if they hop on our replay later, a two and where they're tuning in from also. And why don't we get started? I am so excited to just basically talk about the importance of teamwork. And as being an entrepreneur myself, I really am excited about the topic today. And just a little bit about me for people who are hopping on that don't know me, or maybe you're just getting started getting to know me. My name is Emily Katzaman. I'm located in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I am a speech therapist. I worked a long time doing a salary gig, kind of the 9 to 5 type of deal. And I became a certified holistic wellness coach and specialist about 3 years ago. And I've had the pleasure and ups and downs of building my own business. And we'll be talking a little bit about that and business today on this live. I specialize in autoimmune related conditions, digestive imbalance, inflammation, and food sensitivities, which is something that I dealt with for at least 7 years. And I believe that no one should have to go that long to get help. And so that's kind of my mission, is to connect people with the tools and support they need to get healthier. I am really passionate and excited about helping people with their physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial health, which really is holistic right there. And I enjoy networking with other passionate, hardworking wellness entrepreneurs. And Chelsea is definitely one of those. And I'm going to introduce Chelsea briefly, and then I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about herself. So thank you, Chelsea, for being here with us today and taking time out of your schedule. Chelsea is a passionate, hardworking wellness entrepreneur who I've had the pleasure to get to know for the last about a year plus. And she resides in North Carolina. I'm so grateful to have met her about a year ago. And she's taught me a lot about being an entrepreneur. Her passion is contagious, and she's an incredible motivator and leader. And so thank you again for being here, sharing with us. And I did want to share, I love, you have your mission basically posted, and you put that you help women fill their cups with health and confidence to go do more good in the world. And I absolutely love that, because that's something that I think everyone could use some more of, some encouragement and better health.
I know, absolutely. And you are one of those women. You're a powerful woman, lady. Oh, cool. So,
tell us a little more about yourself. That would be super.
of course, and welcome to everybody hopping on. I see we've got some live viewers. It's a Saturday afternoon down here in North Carolina. It's super humid and hot, so my curls are a little crazy. But I'm really excited to be on here because I have, I know Emily wants to talk about teamwork and entrepreneurship, and I'm one of those weirdos that's actually been in like most of the quadrants. If you've ever followed Robert Kiyosaki, and he talks about the 4 quadrants of either being an employee, self-employed, in business, or in investing. And I've been one of the weirdos that's navigated most of them. So my background is actually professionally as a startup lawyer. And so I went right through, graduated college early. Who does that? I should have hung out and like partied more, right? Graduated college early, went right to law school. Out of law school, got an amazing opportunity to work with a large firm in my home state at the time of Maine. And what I started to find is that I loved the work. I think many people, and probably some of your viewers, can relate to this, that maybe you're really good at something, but it doesn't necessarily feed your soul. right? I think especially in like corporate environments, a lot of us struggle with that these days, especially if you are someone like myself and Emily who's really purpose driven and like wants to help as many people as possible. And so for me, very quickly, I started to find that health wise, it was really starting to impact me of being out of alignment, like loving my clients. Actually, a client just hopped on. Hi, Steve. Loving my clients and the missions that they were doing, but then just sitting behind a desk and billing the hours and toiling away. For me, I just knew I was meant to do more. And I don't know if that sounds weird to people, but it was literally impacting me to the point of having anxiety attacks and migraines and not sleeping well. And whether it was just things going on in my life, or I think for many of us, when we're doing something that's out of alignment of what we're supposed to be doing, that can absolutely manifest health wise, right? And
Yes.
and so I was the weird lawyer. I would literally get done work 7 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, whatever it was, and I would Google, can I legit work from home? Like I would Google stuff like that. Like, how could I run a business from home that would make enough money? Like these were my search strings at like midnight, right? And so I was in the employee quadrant, but I was interested in becoming in the S quadrant, which is self-employed. And a lot of times, because my specialty was as a lawyer, becoming self-employed made sense to, pursue opening up a law firm, which I was a part of. But also, I started seeking out, I went to coaching school because I wanted to be an even more impactful lawyer to startups. Like those coaching skills were really helpful. And then I started launching a podcast, and then I launched a coaching business. And so I was like trying desperately to create something from the ground up that might take off quickly enough to maybe be like, oh, I could cut down to part-time practicing law, or like do it in a slightly different way, right? If I could have offered my startup legal services for free to so many of my clients, I would have, right? And so I was fascinated, especially with blogging and podcasting and how can you monetize that, or could I have a coaching business? But what I found is I actually just didn't have enough of a marketing background to get any of those to take off quickly enough. And I think, definitely if there's anyone in your feed or my feed who've gone to coaching school or pursued education where you learn a lot and you can help people, then it's like you get out and you're like, okay, how do I turn this into a business? How do I find clients? Right? So I was kind of navigating that, and then was not really looking for something new. But thankfully, it kind of came disguised in a way I was willing to look at. My amazing sister, who owns a fantastic wellness center up in Maine in our hometown, she came to me with a product. And she was really caring about me as her little sister and saying, I see you struggling. Can you take this natural product and just tell me what it does for you? Just kind of a weird thing to say to a stranger, but I was her sister, so she can boss me around a little bit. And so I started taking an all natural product and started having such incredible health benefits and feeling more like myself that then I became curious about, like, why haven't I heard about this? How did you buy this? How do people sell it? And I kind of like inserted myself into learning about network marketing, which is much more of a team driven experience of building a business. So that's kind of my circuitous path of, lawyer to kind of crazy entrepreneur trying to figure out a plan B to stumbling into network marketing as a profession, because I just had such a great experience of the products and also how I was exposed and educated. So that's my like little path of oddball career path.
I think that's real life. We think that we're gonna make this straight path from where we are now to having this amazing
It's
business
so true.
taking off, and when we find that that's not the case, we can get very discouraged. And
Yeah.
I resonate with that so much, which I think is how I came across your path and how I got connected with you, via Donna, was because I was feeling that way,
Mm.
trying to do everything. I, still to this point do a lot of things
Yeah, you
myself,
do.
health coaching business, and I've learned so much. But I've also realized that to make a greater impact, I have
Yeah.
to be willing to ask for help, get support, and, taking advantage of teamwork. It is
Mm.
huge together in the wellness field so we can accomplish bigger things. So,
Absolutely.
So, thank you for sharing your story. And
Yeah.
I really want to ask you, like, now that you've got to experience for quite some time network marketing
Hmm.
and what it offers people, that's something I wanted to, for us to be able to share is
Yeah.
what do you love most about being in network marketing and being a network marketing professional? Things that it
Mm.
offers you that like that, being a lawyer, being at a desk, kind of I know for me, feeling trapped sometimes, or you got to be
Hmm.
certain hours of the day. Like, what advantages do you see in the field of network marketing for people?
Oh my gosh, so many. And I think I came into this with a particular perspective and realistic expectations, right? So just like I had seen, I had probably worked with hundreds of startup companies in my profession as a lawyer. And so I saw that even the most exuberant, excited, like promising entrepreneurs creating their own business, not everyone succeeds, right? And I started to notice certain things that were like in common of people who really made it happen. And it was perseverance and motivation and continuing education. And so when I looked at this, I basically said, for 1 year, I'm going to do everything that my team and my leaders, my mentors say I should be doing. So I didn't want to just dip my toe in. I really wanted to have an experience and see if it felt like a good fit. I didn't want to at the end of the year be like, oh, I kind of tried it. I don't know if it's for me. Like I wanted to have a solid experience. And so some of the things that I found that I didn't expect is I love the culture of working with a positive team. There were some amazing lawyers that I had worked with in the past, but the whole gel, at least of our team, I think we're pretty fun and pretty supportive. And so that professionally had never been my experience. So I loved the culture, the personal development side, all of the skills that we get to develop. I was nervous. I was someone who was like, I don't think I'm going to be good at sales. I'd never done anything like that. But what I realized is that there's so many benefits of improving on skills around sales and communication and engagement and marketing. So that's been really, really fun for me. I think I'm getting better at it.
For
And,
sure.
for me, what something I literally didn't know, and this is kind of embarrassing. So I went to law school, and in your third year, you sign up for your bar exam to become licensed. I'm sure you had a licensing for, speech therapy.
Yeah.
And what I literally was shocked when they said, well, which state are you going to be licensed in during your application? And I was like, I'm limited to one state? Like, what if I want to move? What happens? And
Hmm.
like, I literally just from a lifestyle and realistic perspective had not really understood that state by state licensing and taking bar exams and getting certified. Whew, that felt so limiting the second I heard that. For
Sure.
me, I love traveling, whether it's short term or my husband and I have been down here in North Carolina for a year and a half. I just love people and I love being able to be in new communities, new cultures. And so being able to run my business from my phone that we're doing this interview on, and
Hmm.
maybe my little MacBook Pro, laptop, and to be able to run a global business. Like our company is open in, I think it's 26 or 27 countries now. We just launched Belgium the other day.
So
Like
cool.
it's so cool to be able to leverage and just to not feel limited. So I would say, I didn't expect this to be an overnight success financially. I know that anything, even if it's got a lot of potential, takes effort, takes time, takes skill sets. But I'll tell you one story that, when you're building something like this, the income that you start to generate becomes residual. Well, it's different than if you're a real estate agent and you sell a house, you get paid once for that sale, right? Whereas if you're in insurance, when you sell a car auto policy, you get paid as the premiums are paid over and over and over. In network marketing, a good compensation plan actually has a combination of both, where you get upfront bonuses and that long term. And so the residual side of happy customers, people using your products, reordering starts to build this residual income. And I'm a big fan like of breaking through money limitations and being totally open, especially for us women, that it is like freaking okay to want to have lots of resources to take care of yourself, your family, and pour into your community. Like I'm a big fan of that.
Yes.
And recently within the past year, I had an experience where I was just really thankful. Actually, too, I'll briefly share where residual income, even if it's not 6 figures, 7 figures, like huge amounts, like reasonable, modest amounts of residual income you can build in this profession make a difference. So last September, I live in Wilmington, North Carolina. If you followed the Hurricane Florence going on at all, it was right over our house. And there was lots of people in my network here locally that were debating whether or not to evacuate for safety based on whether or not they were worried that their job would fire them if they left. And I just don't believe we should ever have to decide between safety and job security and a paycheck, right? So
Right.
I just felt so thankful that we evacuated on September 11th, actually, up to New York City. And I was actually going on a business trip, so that whole trip was a write-off. It was a really good fit for me. But we were able to leave and know that our residual check was going to hit our bank account on the 15th, no matter what.
Yeah.
And to be able to say, what do we feel is best for our family, right? Instead of, is our boss going to be mad? Are they closing tomorrow? So just little things like that. And then I'm actually pregnant with our first little baby coming this fall. And you know what? It's been really nice that on some days when I don't feel well, I don't have to plug into my business. And in fact, many of my team members will say, go rest. Like none of my bosses would ever have said that, right? They wouldn't say, go rest, you're doing too much. Go take care of the baby. So, the benefits of residual income, many people look at network marketing and are like, oh, I'd be a failure if I'm not $1 million earner. I don't feel that way. I feel like anything that's continual income based on your efforts, if it's like in alignment and you love doing it, is such a win-win. So that's a big part of, I think, our culture and our team is just supporting people, like taking the steps that you can fit into your life that allow you to help people. Of course, you want to be aligned with products or services that you feel really help people. Otherwise, why do it? But then my visual is actually to build a financial fortress around my family so that when things happen, good or bad, if we want to go on vacation for a month, great. If we have residual income, that's a possibility. Or if we have, an emergency or someone in the family needs us, that we can just drop things and go. That's a big part of why I do this. So many things like the laptop lifestyle, that leveraged income, being able to help people, having the time freedom and just like personal choices that sometimes we feel we don't have because of lack of resources. That's been a huge shift for me and my family. Sorry if that was long-winded.
That. And when you're talking, it makes me think about all of the reasons why I wanted to join the team. People who know me kind of know probably my ups and downs of doing speech therapy. And at one point, in order to do more health coaching, I sort of took a leap of faith and was doing traveling speech therapy, and that whole leveraged income, not there. So if a child canceled, their family canceled due to illness, which so many kids nowadays seem to be sick
Totally.
all the time, I didn't get paid. And
Mm-hmm.
people were horrified when they heard that, but I said, it is what it is, and this is what I'm doing.
Right. Right.
So for me to have an extra $100 a month, or,
Yeah.
sometimes just paying my gas to get to see the next kid so I could actually bring some more money in.
Yeah.
So it's real life. And I hear all the time about families and one income, like someone losing their job suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think it's important to think about, things might be great now, but unfortunately,
Mm.
the culture we live in, like you said, doesn't always embrace the employee. They
Yeah.
embrace making money, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're just a number. And if things aren't going well, you may be out the door. And I hear that way
Mm.
often amongst my friends and people in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And a quote that really resonates with me, I think it's just like a proverb or something, is, to dig the well before you're thirsty. So even though like when I learned about this, I was making close to 6 figures as a lawyer, but I knew that I didn't want to do it forever. And I didn't want to just wait until I had burned out.
Yeah.
But even if you love your work, like I just think in today's day and age, relying on one income stream is just too risky. Maybe you're amazing at investing in stocks, and that hasn't been my forte yet, but maybe you have real estate, But if you're looking at it and say like, I'm a W-2, like an employee, or maybe you're self-employed, I think it's really smart for coaches, consultants to align with network marketing because so much of the work and the teamwork is done for you. And so why not have another tool of how you can help people if you're talking to someone who can't hire you, doesn't make sense as your like ideal client in your kind of day job business, but you're hearing cues of how you could help with this. It almost seems silly if you're networking at all for your business or your job to not find a company that you can align with wholeheartedly and have that product partnership so that you can offer a solution to people. It seems like a win-win to me.
For sure. Yeah. And for me, focusing on digestive wellness,
Oh, yeah.
it kept coming up more and more. I'm like, well, I need to be able to offer or suggest, point someone toward a probiotic, let's say. And
Mm-hmm.
why would I not take advantage of partnering with a high quality, a company that makes a high quality product because I'm doing a service for my
Right.
client to
Totally.
offer that. So it's so easily integrated into what I'm already
Yeah.
doing. And like you said, you have to believe in it. But I tell people I take the products,
Right.
so therefore I can say what it's done for me, and that's a
Yeah.
huge aspect. Is don't think you're
Totally.
jump into a business and start selling stuff if you don't believe in it yourself and you haven't taken the time
Yeah.
for the benefits. That's something
Yeah.
that's really
It's so funny when people ask me, well, do you use them? I'm like, every day for 6 years, even while I'm pregnant, if I can't stand behind health products that I feel are safe enough for a little guy growing inside of me, I wouldn't put my name on it. So every day for 6 years, I've been using all of the products that we are aligned with and couldn't be happier. So of course I'm going to recommend them.
yeah. Sometimes I think people might think they're skeptical and they'll say or they might think that I don't know. I'm just telling them about it because I just feel like telling them about it. But
Hmm.
I keep back to, you know what, I could have easily not said anything. And the reason
Mm-hmm.
why I'm sharing it with you is because I care about your health. Like
Right.
that aspect hasn't changed. I'm a health coach. I'm wanting to help people. And the only difference is that I have some amazing tools to be able to offer to
Yeah, absolutely.
it's always their choice, whether to take
And
it back.
anybody hearing info from Emily should know that she's an amazing researcher. Like anything that she would recommend for me, I'd be like, oh, sweet, you just cut my research time in like a third.
Yeah, I'll tell people, I'm like, all right, 7 years of research and struggling. I really wish that's why I'm doing coaching is I wish that I
Yeah,
had one that could have guided me and kind of helped
totally.
me decrease the time spent struggling and
For
trying to make that
sure.
work best for me. So
Hmm.
awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing all
Hmm.
of the awesome aspects of network marketing. I love to travel, and it would be really challenging sometimes to get off with my salaried positions to
Hmm.
even go to, let's say, a health coaching event.
Hmm.
I get flack for taking off one day. And so I knew there had to be something out there that was better for me, that would be in more alignment. And I do think you hit that right on the head. If you're not happy with the work you're doing, it will manifest in stress
Hmm.
and health problems. And I see that with clients. So I
Yeah.
think it's something really important for people to consider. And so, can you tell us a little bit more about biohacking and nutrigenomics? Those are two things
Yes.
I was really drawn to and wanted to know more about when I first heard them.
I am so obsessed. And so I'm very French for those of you watching, so I'm going to use my hands. But so the company that we have aligned with is in this field called biohacking. And when I first heard that term, I was like, isn't getting your bank account hacked like a bad thing? Do I want to hack my biology?
Right.
But what's really cool is this is a whole new movement of people feeling more empowered, desiring to embrace natural health. And so I think about biohacking as like an umbrella, and there's different things that fall under biohacking. So anybody who's trying to have like a morning routine or a morning meditation, meditation is considered a biohack. You're optimizing your biology through a behavior. It could be that you're saying, do I really need that sugary dessert? No, I don't. I'm going to have just a nice like organic espresso instead, right? Like that conscious choice is a biohack. Sleep patterns, like all these things that we know we should be doing or maybe are learning that we should be doing from a lifestyle perspective. Now, one of those kind of pillars under that umbrella is this term called nutrigenomics. which is a really big term if you've never heard it. So it's basically, if you break that down, it's that we're learning the science and the study of how nutrition can actually impact our genetic health. Okay, so I'm going to say that again, our genetic health. So I was used to, when I was having migraines, I'd be looking at what herbs can I use, or acupuncture and different things, or vitamins, right? So vitamins and supplements are what many of us think of as the natural support for our bodies. But what I came to realize as I learned about nutrigenomics is that is old science, baby, right? It's like saying, I have a really high quality pager, or do I want to use an iPhone, right? Nobody wants the really awesome pager anymore. So now that we know, like, you can't unknow that things that run in your family, right? Like when I started learning about nutrigenomics, I was like, what am I concerned about that runs in our family? Alzheimer's, breast cancer, all these things. I just started looking at, like, could this, with anything natural, people know or should know, you can't say it treats, prevents, or cures anything, but you can certainly do your own research. And so I started looking at things that I was experiencing day to day, as well as things that run in the family that I certainly want to avoid if I can, and learning that nutrigenomics can actually impact so much of our current experience in health, as well as kind of long term. And so for me, once I learned that, I just couldn't go back to the pager or, to vitamins and saying, oh, I hope this works. Because once you know more. And so for me, what I started to notice is things that I'd been suffering from. Like, I never want people to feel like nutrigenomics and this science is only if you have chronic health issues. Because some people are just, I feel good, but I want to feel great. Awesome. I want to talk to you too. But for me, like, some of those things that I just thought were because of my stressed environment started to go away as I started to implement just super simple nutrigenomic products, like sleeping better. When you sleep better, and I just think it's crazy that so many of us think it's normal to sleep for maybe 7 or 8 hours or however much you sleep at night, to wake up tired and need a stimulant, aka coffee. Right? Like, if you just slept well, you should wake up refreshed and excited. And so simple things like sleeping better, having higher levels and more consistent energy. For me, going from 2 to 3 migraines a week to 2 to 3 a year was life-changing, right? If you've ever suffered from migraines, you would pay anything for it to go away when you have it. Anxiety that I was struggling with. Yes, I was still in a stressful work environment, but I was able to handle it better. I wasn't having attacks anymore. And so there was just so many aspects of my life that even with just one product at the time, now I use our whole catalog of amazing science-backed products. And even just that one product helped me, what I call it was my health upcycle, because once I started feeling better and less brain fog and less pain, of course, I felt like I could maybe pursue other things like working out after my work or taking the time to prepare a nice meal. And so if anybody out there who's watching this just feels like you've tried everything, you feel like there's just no hope or something feels chronic, it's so worth talking to Emily. And if you're just sitting here saying, like, you know what, I feel pretty good, but I want to reduce toxins from my life with my personal care products, or I'm trying to, really prepare for a big athletic race, Spartan races and marathons, it's that season. We have support for that. So many people just need to know about nutrigenomics. And that's why people like you and I, us crazy, passionate people, exist.
Yeah, and so many people are still, either they haven't heard about it at all, or maybe to get to know about it. So it's exciting. It's exciting to be kind of at the forefront of sharing that more with people who are open to hearing more about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you said about the genetic piece. I mean, if as a health coach, you look out there and there's so many, genetic tests out there for people. To say that they're not valid and important, but my big question becomes, so you find out that you have this, genetic thing, predisposition, but a lot of people what do you do about it? So usually that's where I also want to come in and say, nutrigenomics comes in here.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a set of twins who are identical. There's studies out there. They have the
Yeah.
exact same genes, but one ends up developing a certain disease and the other one doesn't.
Mm.
So it's not the genetics. There's a lot out there showing that our environment, like you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, there's so many factors that are hijacking our health, and we have to bio
Mm.
health in order to protect ourselves. So thank
Yeah.
you for mentioning that, because nutrigenomics is a way to, I think of switches from my,
Yeah. It's a good
like,
visual.
like the switches can be turned on for disease, but we also can turn them back off. I also kind of like the idea of a dimmer switch, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a little more subtle than that. Like you said, there's little things, even just getting more sleep, meditating. We're taking our dial for disease and we're turning it down
Yeah.
a notch, and that could be the maker or breaker of
Yeah.
what.
And I
So
think people just get really excited. I just had a little chat pop up, a brand new customer of mine who's starting to use what we call our Vitality Stack, kind of like some of our core products. She
yeah.
just took the stack for the first time last night. And she just sent me a chat with a little dancing baby. And she's like, can't wait to see how I feel. Like, I think people are seeking support if you're already in the mindset of wanting to optimize health. And it's super exciting to be like, now I know that there's a better way and I'm going to try it and see my own experience. I think
Mhm.
people get really excited. There's a little dancing baby on my end.
It was more empowering, saying my mom, my grandma had
Yeah.
these problems and I'm going to get it too. Or I'm going to, yeah, try these particular natural products and see what my experience is. I came into the products after doing a lot of lifestyle changes,
Yeah.
um, and had doing a lot better with the digestive health, but I knew there was room for improvement. And because I had
Yeah.
that mindset that there was always more to improve upon, I was able to improve things like mood, extra energy.
Hmm.
Back to it because it's been about a year or so, but I actually remember after taking the natural energy drink,
Yeah.
I was humming, and I was like driving somewhere and I was
Hmm.
humming, like just so happy. And I thought, when was the last time that I did? It was very powerful because
Yeah.
when you're sick and you're chronically sick, you kind of lose, like, you forget what it's like to just go about your
Yeah.
day, maybe whistling, humming, like just simply enjoying life. And
Yeah. It's
so
so
powerful.
true. Like that extra little glimmer in life. And I know sometimes people message me and they're like, are you really always in a good mood? Are you really like always this energetic? And I'm like, I'm sorry if you think that's weird. I think it's normal.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
setting the new norm, or getting back to the new norm again.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm 0% fake.
Yeah, and I joke with people too. I'm like, if I didn't have these things, these products to support me, I
Yeah.
wouldn't make it past my second job to
Yeah.
do more than two jobs. And
Right?
yeah, if you think that we're happy, really happy, and it seems kind of kind of crazy, like imagine what it can do for you too if you work one job.
Hmm.
It's just it's
Yeah.
yeah. I hope it speaks a lot. For some people, it really does. I wonder,
Hmm.
how does this make you so energetic and in a good
Yeah.
mood? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. And so, just a little bit maybe about how your life has changed since you got involved with this amazing network marketing company that
Yeah.
focuses on wellness products that are designed for biohacking and nutrigenomics.
Yeah. So I would say for me, it's been a 6 year journey. I was on the products for just a couple weeks before I saw the value of jumping into the business. So I've been this really fun guinea pig of when I started, we had one product for humans and one product for dogs. And now we have this whole catalog. So I've like layered them in one at a time where people who get started now can be like, I want that stack. So for me, it's been so great just from a health perspective. When our weight management system came out, I lost almost 30 pounds that had been really stuck, like hormonal,
Mhm.
crappy pounds I couldn't get off. And, the all natural energy keeps me going throughout the day, keeps me focused. I love having a really nice protein shake option, especially these days. I'm supposed to like up my protein during pregnancy. It's like, well, I don't want to eat that much meat, but oh, a nice protein shake. So many of the things have just been incorporated into my day. I was
Mhm.
already spending money on hair care and skincare, and now I can buy low toxic versions that I actually really like. So it's been
Yeah.
really nice to just like bring new education and options into my household and feel so much better. I think people who see me now, like if you didn't know me 10 years ago, I actually, not to be vain, but I look a lot younger now because as your body is activated, should you choose to like use nutrigenomics, you're not meant to age in a haggard way, right? You're taking care of your body. And
Kelsey, at one of the events we were at, I think, I don't know if you remember me saying this, but something I noticed, which was really awesome, was that the people dancing around, not that, younger people at the events
yeah,
for the company couldn't have been dancing, but I just noticed that a lot of the people who maybe we would have thought, I
that's
would
to
have thought
move.
down, they were up dancing,
Oh
putting the
my
young
gosh.
to shame. And it's like, that's what the company does for you,
It's so true. One of my friends who's down here in Wilmington, actually several, but one is a 70-year-old gentleman. He's taken great care of himself over time, but he's actually getting up to doing push-ups. He's up to 110 push-ups now. He hadn't done them in years. He's been on the Vitality Stack for a couple of months now. And, one of my friends down here who's maybe in her 60s is on the stack as well. And she's noticing that she's like, just bought some nice shoes to join a dancing class. And she's like, I haven't been able to go dancing because of pain. So it is really cool that I think young people, for me, I was just constantly trying to improve and feel better. But if you have more years under your belt of just all the bad influences in our world, food, toxins, it's taken more of a toll on you. And I think you notice it faster, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, age 30 didn't look so good for me. And
Yeah.
some people, say, "Oh, just wait," but I knew 30 shouldn't feel that way. 30
Yeah.
was when my autoimmune kicked into real high gear despite every
Oh, that makes sense.
try. I was going to various health practitioners and doing different products, and that was what only um about 5, I guess it's going on about 5 years ago I turned,
Hmm.
and I love to dance, and I couldn't stand up for more than a couple
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
my feet were flaring. I
Yeah.
had inflammation and swelling inside my hands and my feet, and I
Hmm.
said, you know what, it has to stop. Like
Hmm.
it's pulled me back. It already is internally that people can't see, but now it's starting to hold me back from doing the things I love the most. So it's life changing
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I hear you.
turn your health around.
It really is. It really is. And then from just kind of a lifestyle perspective, I was lucky that I met my amazing soulmate and husband actually through our business, which was super fun. So he's a biohacker as well. And we've been able to move down here to a really cool beach community, a lifestyle that we're really loving. And I couldn't have done that if I still had to be at a desk in a certain state. So just opening up opportunities. This is the year that I am committed to helping as many people in my team hit their goals, to get to a place where I've completely replaced what I used to make as a lawyer. I've been doing it part time. So I'm really excited, just the financial side as well.
Mhm.
Especially, like I said, I think we should not be ashamed to say that we need resources in this world to take really good care, to eat organic food, to be able to travel and support our friends and family when they need us. So that, some of the lifestyle changes have been very intentional. And then just surrounding myself with amazing people like you. I constantly learn from others in our network, which is really fun.
Awesome. Yeah. So the business side, I mean, if you like meeting new people, like I do,
Yeah,
love meeting
yeah,
new people. And certainly I've met people from all over.
totally.
States, there's people prior to going to my first event that I only spoke to online, but felt like I had a really great relationship with. And it's
Hmm.
just amazing. The things, the
Hmm.
networking and the people you meet and the things you learn, it goes far beyond maybe just what you think of as like the traditional business
Yeah.
aspect. I mean, friendships and so much more. So
Hmm.
really amazing. And so, if someone would be interested in learning more about biohacking, nutrigenomics, the products that we've been talking
Hmm.
and mentioning, and the company, the network marketing company that we both love, how could they find out more? I just wanted to be able to, share with them how they can.
Yeah. Well, one is if you're watching this and you're friends with either of us, hit us up by message and we can create a little group chat and continue the conversation about either the products or the business. But also something that we do as a team, especially people may be all over the country. I see Val coming in from Orlando and Tom from Bethesda, Maryland, and Michelle from Canada, is that we actually have a informational webinar every Tuesday night. And so depending what time zone you're in, it's Eastern time, 8:30 p.m. And that's something that either Emily or I could get you login information to. And that actually covers the products and the science as well as kind of the movement and the business. So that could be a really cool next step for people. Or just having a conversation, like we're super approachable. We're not looking to like pin someone down to a sale. We really just want to help people know their options around their health. And a lot of our current reps in our company have been extremely satisfied and happy customers that then say, oh my God, I want to share this with my family and my friends, and my doctor wants to know. And so we're always happy to help people talk either about the products, the business, both, just to know what's on the table. And especially if you're watching this and you are a happy customer, definitely let us know what some of your best benefits have been, what you've seen changing in your life, because I think hearing people's stories is always so helpful. And feel free to comment product or business if you want some more info, or message Emily because she's an amazing guide through this process, and we could get you either onto that webinar or into something custom that would work on your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Chelsea. And thanks everybody, including Chelsea, for hanging out with us today, and for her answering questions, to be able to share her experiences with the network marketing model and the value that the company that we're working with brings. And thank you so much, Chelsea, for the awesome work that you do, being a leader and, hopping on things like this to be able to.
Oh, of course. We got to spread the word, lady.
And thanks everyone for tuning in, taking time out of your Saturday. And it's beautiful here in Pennsylvania. I don't know about everywhere else,
Nice.
but I think you all take time for yourselves. And if you're feeling like you want more in your life, that there's got to be something more out there for you, whether it's for your health, like you would like to just eat better, or maybe you've been dealing with chronic illness, definitely reach out to get more information. And if you're looking for a change or a side business that would give you creativity, flexibility, helping more people, like really feeling like you're making a difference, definitely reach out to us and we can get you more information. So have a wonderful weekend.
That sounds good. Thanks for having me and doing all of your beautiful work.
Yes. Thanks, Chelsea. Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye.